Headed to the Grand Canyon, you will probably drive through Williams. It's the gateway, but there's plenty to do. This is the top 8 things to do in Williams, Arizona.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Mark.
And this is the Empty Nester Life. And the top thing on the top 8 things to do in Williams, Arizona?
Get on the train and go to the Grand Canyon.
Well, yeah, visiting the Grand Canyon. This is known as the gateway to the Grand Canyon, but there's multiple ways to get there. If you're renting a car, you can head up the 64 and hit the South Rim, or hop on one of the historic train rides and make an entire event out of it.
And the route is historic, but so are the cars. They're vintage cars that you will ride in all the way to the Grand Canyon.
Be on the lookout for an upcoming video on these train rides. But in the meantime, let's get to the second thing on the list, Bearizona.
Bearizona, the fuzzy little creatures that'll chase you through the woods.
Yeah, and you get to get out and you get to pet the bears? No.
No, you don't pet any bears here. But yeah, they have bears and wolves and chipmunks and a black panther I saw.
They do. They've got all sorts of stuff. So first you go and you drive through and you get to see all of the wildlife that's in that section. But then they also have a whole restaurant area and petting zoo and all sorts of creatures and shows and all the things. I can't recommend Bearizona enough.
And number 3 on the list is Route 66 and historic downtown Williams. You can explore a really cool little section of Route 66. Everybody loves Route 66. Really charming downtown. You've got preserved historic buildings, lots of shops, coffee shops, restaurants, and classic motels and bars too. They're neat.
Yeah, and while you're there, there's actually some pretty cool entertainment. In fact, I think it's every night in the summertime at 7 o'clock. They shut down a portion of the street, and you get to experience a little Old West shootout.
Yeah, that was really, really entertaining. Number 4, the Kaibab National Forest. There's a cool little campground just outside on 64 called the Kaibab Campground. And we went and experienced it. There's a little lake and there's a whole bunch of people. And there's lots of just fun going on there.
A lot of outdoor. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, then there are lots of ways to experience this gorgeous national forest. Number 5 on the list, you gotta rev it up and go for the Go Karts.
Pedal to the metal at the Go-Kart Track just outside of Williams. I did pass her, that's all I can say.
Well, you passed everybody. You were quite proud of it. But this is actually attached to the KOA campground. And so if you're staying at the KOA, you can come over here and experience it. But this is the only thing that is open to the public. So you don't actually have to be staying at the campground to come and ride the go-karts.
And that KOA, let me tell you something, that was family entertainment, family fun. I could tell people had been coming there for years. They got a pool and they got a little gift shop. You can buy ice cream and you walk next door and ride the go-karts. It really had a great Americana vibe.
It really did. Number 6 on the list is to hit Pete's Route 66 Gas Station Museum.
You know, I guess so, because it's this quirky little museum. It kind of gives you a little glimpse into the past. They got vintage stuff in there, and I think you get to meet Pete.
Number 7 is hitting the Grand Canyon Deer Farm. I gotta tell you, this was such a fun day. And if you're gonna be in the Williams area, you gotta go feed the deer, pet the deer, see the porcupines. The whole experience is pretty cool.
She likes critters, you know. She grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, so she can get out with wildlife and get chased around an area by about 20 deer. Oh, she's all in. High five. You know, that's the way she rolls.
Getting chased by wildlife. Isn't that how we met?
Pretty much.
Number 8 is the dining experience in Williams. Now listen, there's a lot of good restaurants in downtown Williams that you may want to experience, but we're gonna highlight one in particular.
You know, you've done all this work. You've went there, you went here, you burned a lot of calories. Go and put them back on. Yeah, right? Over at Pine Country Restaurant, they got a nice selection of homemade, by scratch pies. These are not trucked in from Sara Lee now. These are real deal, handmade. You can see the thumbprints in, the crust. That's how good these bad boys are. Right?
I mean,
come on.
Honestly, if you're going to blow your diet, this pie is worth it.
Your sweet tooth deserves it.
Hey, these are our top 8, but there's so much more to do in Williams. We'd like to hear from you. What's one of your top things to do in Williams when you visit the area?
I'll bet you a lot of our people, empty nesters like us, have been there, so we'd love to hear from you. Again, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jackie.
We're the Empty Nesters, and we want to say one thing to you.
We love ya.